Hello, good morning. This is Karumbi Davis of Karumbi Realty International. And it's that time again to look at what happened last month in the luxury world of real estate here on Oahu. Let me just bring up my screen for you. Not a lot of changes, but a few significant things we should know probably. Um, One of the very first things is the sales were definitely down in July compared with June. The luxury sales were down 20%. As you can see, closed sales were 32. Last month, they were about 40. So we did see less closed sales last month. However, we did see the percentage sold at asking or above increase to about 53%. And to me, that's just a sign of our pricing getting more in line with what the market will pay for certain homes. And I think as we come into these new markets, seasoned realtors definitely are looking at what is the market, what is the price that a home will sell. And, interestingly enough, I was thinking the other day, a lot of homes are still selling in the different neighborhoods, 94 to 96% of list price to sales price. And a lot of that has to do with just be positioning where your list price is. And I think that's very, very important to be within a range that will bring activity and bring a very strong buyer to your property. The other thing I was going to mention is there were fewer price reductions. Last month compared to June, there was only two compared to 12, which 12 price reductions in June. So, we'll probably see a lot more sales as we come August, September with the prices adjusting. In June, it takes a few weeks to get that new price change out there and 60 days to record on the home. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. The highest sale for July, let me just give you this, is Coco Kai. This was a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath home here right on the cliff edge here. And that house sold for $6,350,000. And interestingly enough, that sold back in 2022 for a little over 3.3 million. So someone's definitely got in there and done some beautiful remodeling. And it did look lovely, the floor plan. And a lot of buyers are definitely paying more to have that turnkey property where they can walk in and not have to worry about doing any repairs. And we often see that in, when we're pricing properties, if that property has very little maintenance to do and it's not a headache for someone to buy, as they say, it will get top dollar in today's market still. Now, moving on to the condominium market, the luxury condominium market, the sales were definitely up a little more than June. They were up about 8%, but not a lot of big changes. The active price range of 1.8 to 2.9 for luxury condos was down. So there's definitely inventory being absorbed right now. And the highest sales for condominium was Victoria Place last month in July, and this was the Grand Penthouse 4000 and 40001. Beautiful double unit, of course, 4 parking spaces. I believe the unit was about 3,700 square feet, but all the wonderful benefits plus living in such a resort feeling building there. And it's a very, very popular building when it first came on the market for sale, and now owners have definitely moved in and enjoying all the benefits of such a wonderful building. Now that unit sold for 11.2 million. It was originally listed at 13.8 million, but then adjusted to 11.9. So as you can see, you've just got to find that real niche, that list price, which will bring the activity, and you'll pretty much sell close to it. Moving on to Marianne's photos this week, which is always wonderful. Let me just bring those up for you. She mentions the birds, being such a big part of our ecosystem as pollinators, seed dispersal of many plants, and keeping a variety of insects in check. As you can see here, this is a teeny scaled breasted Muna feeding on grass seed. I learn a lot doing this each week, by the way. And here's a beautiful colored Malhouse finch and gorgeous Honolulu city birds, the elegant white tern, absolutely stunning. and gorgeous, a teeny and colourful red-billed Leothrex. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they enjoy dense forest overgrowth. But there's a little bit of a bird education for you, which is always great to get some general education on different things we don't see every day, right? Anyway, look, have a wonderful weekend. I thank you for being with us today. We're extremely busy, and most, there's a certain segment of the realtors here in our marketplace that there's a lot going on, a lot more details. I believe buyers are a lot more fussier when they're buying properties, a lot more home inspections in terms of, just not your general home inspection. There's sewer scope inspections on scoping on houses, extensive termite inspections happening. So construction contractors going in. So people are really taking their time to decide if a house is right for them or not. And that's our very important step once we get that home in escrow. But with that along, I'll say goodbye now. And until I speak to you next week, much aloha.